Hi everyone, Jaime Kalman Chipko here, and I wanted to bring you some more Jaime Magic. And it is so good to be with you today. So good. So, we've been talking a lot lately in these weekly videos about what we can control and what we can't control, right? We just did a video together. Like how I just looped you into that, like you're part of the process, because you are, because you watching and commenting, it makes this a give and take, and that's what makes it awesome. So thank you to all of you who've been commenting and sending me emails and thoughts about these videos. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, especially when I know that it's helping. That is like the best thing ever. So as you know, I'm a certified empowerment specialist, and that's a very fancy term for somebody who's been certified in all kinds of different things like hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom techniques. I have 6 different certifications in life coaching. So as you can see, I can nerd out about healing, transformation, personal growth, empowerment, neuroscience, all day long. I just absolutely love it. So these videos are an opportunity for me to share the tips and the tools and the techniques that I love, that help me so much in my personal life, that help me with my family, and that help me with my clients. And I want to just share this information with you. And, keep in mind, I'm not a licensed psychotherapist, and I'm definitely not a medical doctor. And I'm not your doctor, okay? So whatever I share with you, it's for the purpose of just offering information that I hope that you will find helpful. But like anything, be accountable and responsible for your own well-being and your own health, okay? So I wanted to talk with you today about something that's really been on my radar, which is fear of the future, because things are changing. We have been through so much in the past year with the COVID pandemic. There's just been massive life changes everywhere, on every single level. And it doesn't matter, what walk of life or where you live or your gender. It has just been an incredibly challenging time, full of all kinds of shifts and changes. And a lot of those changes were involuntary. And a lot of those changes also might have left you feeling fearful or even anxious, okay? And now that things are starting to open back up again, we're trying to go back to normal, there's a lot coming up for people. Some people are super excited about this and can't wait, to just get back to their normal life. You notice I keep doing quotes with normal. That's because what is normal? What is normal? Normal is different for everybody. But what I can share with you is that it's okay if you're one of the people who feels a little hesitant, a little unsure, maybe downright frightened about what this return to normal means for you and is going to look like for you, and can you even do it, right? So we've been through a lot this year, and I think that it's really important that we give ourselves the patience and the self-compassion to be gentle with ourselves as we begin to reemerge from the cocoon that we've all been living in, as we weather this storm. So, anxiety loves uncertainty. Anxiety thrives in uncertainty. And the antidote often to the feeling of anxiety is control, right? So that's why when, we feel ourselves becoming worried or anxious, or we have those obsessive negative thought patterns coming up about some future event, we feel this need to control the outcome. It's like if we knew that we could just control the outcome of that flight, we wouldn't be afraid to get on the plane and fly. If we just knew that we were going to just crush that talk that we have to give, right? That public speaking event that's around the corner. If we knew that we were going to remember all the words and, be really masterful in our presentation, if we just knew that everyone was going to love what we had to say, we wouldn't feel anxious about public speaking. right? So you can see how we want to control the outcome, and the way we try to do that is by controlling our behavior as best as we can. And to a certain extent, that can sometimes work. For example, let's take public speaking. Something that you can control is how prepared you are, right? You can rehearse your talk, you can practice it, you can make sure your research is all, double checked and triple checked. You can do all of that on the level of action. But the thing that's really important to understand is that at the end of the day, we are not in control of the outcome. We are in charge of showing up and being willing to do our best, right? But there's a lot of factors that come into play with how things are going to go and how things are going to be. And a lot of it is outside of your control. So thus, here comes the anxious feelings. So if you find yourself right now feeling very worried about something in the future that you feel like you can't control, or you don't know how to respond to it, or you don't know what you should do, right? You're just not sure yet. You feel fearful. What I wanted to share with you is there is something that you can do that will allow you to exert control in a very important area of your life. So when you find yourself feeling fearful, it's okay to say, I feel uncomfortable, I feel scared, right? It's okay to acknowledge that to yourself. And if you need help bringing, the emotional charge down off of that feeling, I do have videos on my channel about how to use emotional freedom techniques, otherwise known as tapping. It's a body-based, self-soothing stress relief method that you can use to help, bring that uncomfortable feeling down. But I'm not going to go into that on this video because I have literally like a 30-minute video about that already. So what I wanted to share with you is one of my favorite transformational tools, which is intention setting. Okay, the power of intention, it's massive. And here's how this works. Okay, so when you set an intention for your day, for yourself, for a future event, what you're essentially doing is you are consciously drawing to you the type of experience that you want to have, okay? And what you're doing is you are determining what emotional state you want to feel, okay? So you might be looking at an event in the future like a public speaking engagement, right? You have to give a talk. And you might be feeling very afraid of being judged, not doing a good job, rejection of some sort. Oh, great, we got a lawnmower. So my intention is to move through this video, even with the lawnmower in the background, and to be so engaging that you don't even notice the background noise. So, okay, so going back to intention and why it's important. The thing is we can't control an outcome, but we can control who we are being. Okay, so that's what you can control. And remember in a previous video, I talked about reactivity versus responsibility. Reactivity is when we just involuntarily react to a trigger, right? And responsibility is when we press pause on that reaction and we actually take a moment to consciously choose our response to that person's situation or issue. Okay, so this is similar. But the power of intention also utilizes your brain in a really cool way. There's this part of your brain called the Reticular Activation System, the RAS, okay? And the Reticular Activation System is the part of your brain that basically determines the filters through which you see the world. Okay, so here's an example of the RAS in your life. Have you ever bought a new car and then all of a sudden, when you're out and about running errands, all you see is that car? You see how many other people have your car. You're like, oh, there it is in black. There it is in gray. There it is in yellow, right? So that is because it's your brain picking up on similarities. It's doing this thing called template matching, and we're doing it all the time. We're always matching up, what we align with. And so this is a great way to utilize this natural part of your brain activity, because when you set an intention, you are deciding what kind of feeling you want to have in your body. And that is something you can control, and here's why. So often we focus on behavior, right? But it's thought that creates a feeling in the body, and your feelings drive your behavior, and your behavior creates your result. So if you want to have a sense of control around your results, well, you have a pretty good chance of doing that if you go back to the point of origin, which is the thought that you're having. And that's where the power of intention lives, on the level of thought. But what's awesome is it changes your emotional state. Because if you set the intention that, your intention for this talk that you have to give is to be calm, centered, and masterful. If you give yourself a moment to just be with that intention, notice what that would look like. What would it sound like? What would it be like? How would it feel to be giving that talk and feel calm, centered, masterful? Just one moment dwelling in that thought changes your emotional state. Why? Because before you were thinking about that talk in the future and you were feeling anxious about it because you were so worried about what might go wrong, what you don't want to have happen, right? So as you thought about the negative outcomes, you began to feel negative feelings. And if you show up to that event from that negative emotional state, well, it's just a really tough place to give your talk and to be, sharing information with other people, because you're coming from a place that's very shut down and very defensive and very closed off and very afraid. So instead, by setting your intention for feeling and being, calm, grounded, you can do anything. You can come up with any cocktail of emotional states. Your intentions can be whatever you desire them to be. They're yours, right? But when you choose those states, then you are effectively driving your behavior in the direction that you actually want to go. Okay, so that's very, very exciting. So I just wanted to share this with you, because as we begin to look at areas of our life where we feel out of control, it is natural to want to exert control. So a wonderful place that you can practice exerting some control is by being the co-creator of your own experiences, by setting intentions for yourself that are purposeful, powerful, and positive. Okay, I did this actually with my daughter when she was about 3 years old. We'd be going to preschool, and I noticed at first she was a little nervous at drop-off. And I would say to her, honey, I do this thing called setting an intention, and it helps me to really create the kind of day that I want to have. And I can change my intention anytime I want to throughout the day, depending on what I want to feel or create. And it really helps me show up being the kind of person I want to be. And here's how it's done. My intention for today is to be efficient and organized, right? Because that's what I want it to be. And I said, what's your intention for the day? And I remember she was about 3.5, and she's like, my intention is to be fast. Because she wanted to run really fast on the playground at recess, right? So, and she was moving, she was in motion, she was moving fast. Then her intention started to be things like, my intention for today is to be a good listener. My intention for today is to be kind and patient, And so the idea is, going back to the RAS, the reticular activation system, here's how this connects. Because your brain is on the lookout for things that you align with, right? If you have set the intention for yourself to be, let's borrow my daughter's intention of being kind and patient. Well, if that's the intention she set for herself, she might notice throughout the day when she's not being patient. She might notice when she's being impatient. And then she can ask herself, oh, am I being my intention? Nope. Okay, cool. So the RAS is a gentle reminder of your intention. It works in favor of this process because it'll gently point out to you when you are in alignment with your intention and when you're not. And it's going to be on the lookout for how you are in alignment with that intention, and you're going to see it and go, oh, cool. So I use intention setting to help me bypass the obsessive negative thought patterns that I do run into personally when I'm about to do something that is scary, something that's outside of my comfort zone, or something that just leaves me feeling, that I don't have much control. So I can't wait to hear what you do with this, and I can't wait to hear what you think of this. And as always, I do have a Facebook page called Inspired Healing and Awareness, and you can find all kinds of videos and good resources on that page. And I can't wait to read your comments here on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. That way you'll get a notification every week when I post a new video. And you can comment right here and we can chit chat. So as you can see, I'm very friendly and I like to talk. So I'm inviting you to join my community. And I hope that you just have the most wonderful day. Okay, talk soon.